Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a nice day. Jean back with more awesome anomalies. Guys, this is going to blow your mind. This is part 1 of absolute chaos on the plains of Icaria Planum, and I'll be showing you some really weird anomalies. This is for those of you that like longer videos. This one's going to be almost feature length, so I hope you're ready. Let's go. The high-rise photograph we're checking out here is called Fresh Crater, and as always I'll include the link to the reference photograph in the description below. This photograph was acquired on the 16th of February 2019 at a very high res of 24.9 centimeters per pixel. And I'm showing images I cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file, just under 500 megabytes in size. There's a look at the terrain, and there's the so-called fresh crater, and I'll be showing you anomalies scattered about throughout this region. The site we're looking at is located to the south of this plain called Icaria Planum, and at the time of this video this JP2 photograph had not been loaded to Google Earth Mars yet. So the site's located 46 degrees 12 minutes south, 102 degrees 52 minutes west. The first anomaly we're checking out right there, guys, another one of these rectangular structures with something on the top measuring about 8 by 12 meters in size. You can see 2 blocks, and as usual we have a bridging part in the center. That piece there is about 5 meters across. Next anomaly right there, we've seen something similar to this one. I'll show you that in a moment. This piece is about 5 by 12 meters in size, and it's another one of these narrow rectangular pieces, straight edges, right angles to it, and on the top we've got a circular feature with a conical part in the center, and here's another disc with a spherical object on the top. And there's the other one, very similar to this one. This is from my previous video called Relics South of Frixie Rupes, and there's the link to the original photograph. We have another one of these narrow rectangular parts with ridge lines on it, same as over here, and these two are basically the same size. And we're looking at some weird artifacts on that larger piece, which is about 12 by 13 meters in size. You can see it's got 2 straight edges, a right angle over there, a rounded part over here to the left. Looks like another one of these quarter disc-shaped objects I featured in the past as well. The area over here to the bottom seems to be at a lower elevation than this piece over here at the top. We've got a straight line running through there. We've got a strange part lying on the top here. It looks almost like a turret of a tank or something. Very weird. Another block over there. I found a couple of these in this JP2, about 8 by 8 meters in size, and it's got a strange little pyramidal part there in its center. And we've got another disc-shaped object over here to the left. It looks almost like a roof of a dolmen. It's elevated over here to the bottom. Right, there's another block like it, about the same size, and in the center of this one we've got that bright item over there. So I've got a strange rounded shape to it, almost another quarter disc-shaped object. Right, so there the two are for comparison. Let's get moving on with the next one, another disc-like anomaly over here, about 12 meters in diameter, and seems to be crashed into the surface over here. It's got some parts lying on top of it over there to the side, and as always the discs are elevated on the right hand side. Check out the little part here on the top. We've got a straight little part here to the bottom. Right, there's another disc similar to it, a bit smaller, about 10 meters in diameter, and also the right hand side is elevated. Seem to have a portion over here that's been hollowed out to the bottom side of this object. There's another disc-like anomaly about the same size, and it's got a very round, almost like a dome design to it, and we've got a triangular pattern there on the top and a straight line running across it over there, almost like the capital letter A. It's also elevated over here to the bottom right. Right, so there they are for you to compare. We've got some similarities and strange design features in those. Right, then we're looking at this strange disc-shaped object with a dome on it. That piece there's about 10 meters across, and the dome-like feature on the top is about 5 meters in diameter. Check out the very symmetrical and geometric rounded side over here. Right, then we're looking at that part over there. It's about 15 meters wide, and it's also got like a rounded shape on the one side. Another one of these plectrum shaped objects. And on top we've got a smaller part, and it seems as if there's a hole right there in the center of that rounded piece. We've got a narrow part sticking up off the surface over here, in line with that part there. Right, then we've got another disc-shaped object over here, consisting of two larger pieces and some small objects on the top, and that disc is about 12 to 13 meters in diameter. Got two parts to it. Looks almost like this piece might have broken off, or it's lying on top of the larger part over here to the right. And then almost in the center of this piece we've got a small block. Also we have right angles and a very smooth flat surface on this piece. Right, there is a similar one. This was in my previous video called Relics south of Frixie Rupes. Some uniformity and similarity between those two. This one over here is a meter or so larger in diameter. There we're looking at some more smaller parts on top of those two items there, and that whole piece there is about 15 meters long, and you can see it consists of a half a disc shaped object here to the left, brighter part here to the right, a straight line running through there, and a bridging part connecting the two. Over here a long rectangular piece lying across 45 degrees to that straight edge over there. Now we're looking at that item. It's about 8 meters in diameter, consisting of two larger parts, a smaller part bridging that gap, and it looks like the area immediately underneath it is slightly hollowed out. Right, then we're looking at that rectangular item there, about 8 by 10 meters in size. It's got a dome-like part there to the one side. It looks as if the center has been hollowed out. Got like two pincer type shapes over there to that piece. Here we're looking at another one of these strange plectrum shaped objects, about 12 meters long. And on top of it we've got that smaller part that seems to be raised above the surface. Got something similar over here in this piece. That part there is about 13 meters across, and it's got a strange structure type of anomaly on the top, and we've got a hole in the one side over here. There's another one of these strange two-part objects, the one's lying across the other. That whole piece there is about 8 meters across. Consists of two separate parts, and the top piece has got this rectangular part sticking out over the top of that piece there. It's almost like a letter T. Very similar to some others I've shown you in the past as well. Right, then we're looking at that object about 12 meters across, and on top of it we've got a smaller object with straight edges and right angles. Looks almost as if that could be an opening over here. We've got a straight line running through there too, parallel to this one side. Another small item on that piece, which is about 10 by 12 meters in size. A very bright part on the top, and running through the center line in front of it we've got that smaller object. Here we're looking at this piece, which is about 12 meters across, and it's got a little dome or spherical object there in the center line, and on the other side we've got a smaller rectangular part, straight edges there, and a right angle. The area here in front of that round object seems to be hollowed out as well, and we've got a hole right there to the front of it. Here we're looking at another one of these pumpkin seed shaped objects. We've seen many of these on Mars as well, and that piece there is about 12 by 12 meters in size. It seems to have like an arch here, a rounded part elevated above the surface. I wonder if that there could be an opening, and lying on top of it perpendicular to this one side we've got that small block there. Here's a similar object about 15 meters across, and also it's got this arch shape on the one side. I wonder if that there could be open. There the two are for comparison. We're looking at that oval object, and on top of it a smaller oval piece. That whole part there is about 12 meters long, and we can see the raised part there in its center. Here we're looking at alignment going on there. This piece over here is about 12 meters across. We take a close-up look, we can see there's a long narrow part on top of this pointing directly to that smaller dome-like part there, and it looks as if this part has been hollowed out there in its center. Next to it we've got a small square object. It looks almost as if that fits into that opening. We're looking at another sort of disc-shaped object about 12 meters across, and in its center we've got that dome-like part there. There's another disc-shaped object about 12 to 13 meters across, very flat, and on top of it, in its center, that very bright object there. It looks almost like some type of metal. Here we're looking at a small block in the center of that larger piece. The larger piece is about 12 meters long. There we can see the block. It's almost like a small pyramid. Check out the straight edge to that piece. Looks almost like a metal plate lying over there. Next to it we've got a small block. That whole part there is about 15 meters long, and this is to the north of the so-called fresh crater. Check out the perfectly straight edge to that piece. Small block next to it. Maybe it's even part of that larger piece, and the edge here is almost parallel to that side there. Here we're looking at the west side of the crater. Got a block there, some blocks over here, and a strange narrow piece there. That block is about 10 by 8 meters in size. You can see the 4 edges to it. It's got a ridge running, or bevel running through the center, and it's got right angles to it as well. Here we're looking at these blocks. This one over here is about 12 meters across. It's also got a very straight edge to it. It's lying on top of some more blocky items there under it. This is a strange part over here to the top. I don't know what that could be. Looks like this piece is sticking out of an opening over here. Rather weird. And 2 similar parts on top of that block. They look almost like leaves. We're looking at this. It looks almost like sheet metal. That part there's about 15 meters long, and it's got 2 triangles sticking off here to the one side, and these parts seem to interlock into that larger piece. Now we're looking at the eastern side of the crater, and one of the largest anomalies I've ever seen. That piece there's about 14 by 20 meters in size, and there's a smaller block next to it about 6 by 6 meters in size. So let's check this one out. It's got a smooth flat surface, very straight edge over here, and looks like the other side is over here to the top. And this block, we've seen lots of these on Mars too, where we've got this rounded shape on the top. I've got a strange part sticking out of its surface over there, straight edge over here. This round design is a rather strange phenomenon as well. There's another block to the east of this crater, and it's about 8 about 12 meters in size. Two smooth surfaces, straight edges, right angles there. Check out this large piece with a very bright object in its center that there's about 12 meters across, and the bright disc-shaped object on the top is about 4 meters in diameter, and it's right there in the center again. Looks almost as if there is a part attached to this, and it's also slightly elevated above the surface. There's another one similar to it, about 13 meters across. Check out that rectangular part there. It's got a hollowed out section to it. A little part lying there in the opening. But yeah, let's check out this disc. It's got like a dome convex shape to it. Close to the center we've got that part, and got straight bevels cut into it. Here we're looking at this megalithic slab type anomaly, which is about 13 meters across, and it's got straight edges again, right angles, and right in its center we've got that protrusion or knob. Here we're looking at smaller blocks or objects lying there in that row. The smaller piece is about 5 by 8 meters in size, and on top of it we've got a smaller object, also a smaller disc-shaped object lying there on top of it to the one side. Here we've got more smaller objects on top of larger base structures. This part over here, for example, is about 12 meters across, and it's got like a dome feature on top of it right there in its center. Off to the right, a smaller bright triangular part. So a smaller part here to the left. This piece seems to be wedged in underneath that larger part. Here we're looking at that megalithic slab or block, about 13 meters long, and very interesting, on top of it we've got this bright rectangular smaller part parallel to this one side, straight edges and right angles, folks. There's another disc-shaped anomaly there, about 13 meters long. On its center we've got that smaller conical feature. Something similar there, and off to the one side we've got a small bright object there. Check out this piece, very weird. That's about 15 meters long, and it's got like a rectangular part there close to its center, straight edges and a right angle, and then here to the left we've got another rectangular part there. Check at the section over here, it seems to be carved into this larger piece, and yeah, in what looks like could be an opening we've got that smaller spherical object over there. Small disc with a little part in its center. That one's about 6 meters in diameter, and next to it we've got a small block, straight edges and a right angle to it. strange oval part here, about 13 meters long, and on top of it we've got a small protrusion or knob. This also looks like, for the lack of a better word, like a flower that's been carved into it. Not that it is a flower, but check out that strange design. There's another small block to the left with a dome-like part on the top. Check out this huge disc, about 15 meters in diameter. It's got a very smooth flat surface to it, straight edge here on the side, very similar to so many that we've looked at. And a strange part on top of it looks like smashed up metal or something. Okay, here we're looking at the small block or slab next to it to the left, about 5 to 8 meters in size. It's got straight edges and a very smooth, bright surface. Here we've got more alignment of small parts on that object there, another disc to the left. This object over here is about 15 meters across and consists of 2 parts, a straight line running through there. One of these are 2 separate parts that have been joined together, or if this is a disc shape that's been broken off through the center there. But check out this straight line of smaller artifacts on the top, and the spacing between them is rather uniform as well. And then that disc is about 12 meters in diameter, got a very smooth, bright surface, and also a smaller part lying there to the top right, on top of the disc. Very similar to this. Okay, yeah, we're looking at this piece, about 10 meters long, and on top of it, in its center, we've got a little triangular part. And not far from it, something very similar over there, and on top of it, got a small block. So there the two are for you to compare. I think it's about 150 meters apart where we find those two similar items. Right, then we're looking at this strange disc-shaped object there, about 14 meters across. On top of it, we've got a smaller piece, or maybe this is even a bevel that's been carved into it. Check at these straight edges, right angle there, and this is parallel to that side, and that edge there is parallel to this side. Another circular object there, about 12 meters across, and it's got a line on the top, looks like it's been cut into it with a small block mounted here to the right. Another disc-shaped object there, that's about 12 meters in diameter, and on top of it we've got this strange folded piece. Looks like we have a rectangular opening over here. Could almost be some type of roof, who knows. Okay, so let's switch over to Mars and zoom down to that site in the southern mid-latitudes. And as I say, it's on the plains of Icaria. There's just a quick look at the anomalies I just featured, just to keep them fresh in your mind, so that you can see the similarities to these and others that I'm going to show you now in some of the surrounding sites. So yeah, to the east we've got craft and structures captured in the Musia Fosse, and there are the artifacts I found there, guys. Here we're looking at odd geometric objects north of Koblenz, and more discs and domes spotted near Ionia Mons. We've got that small little disc over there, and here's another one of those parts that seem to be folded over the top of a larger piece. What else do we have around here? Don't want to make this video too long. Just check out all the sites, guys, that I've found here. There's the site we just analyzed, and check out all these others. So let's just choose one artifact east of Mars 3 lander, and there are what looked like some structures over there. Two very similar items, more discs and domes, two parts interconnected with a smaller part there in the center. It's a very common phenomenon on Mars. Right, for good measure, let's just check out one more. Weird square structures and more found in Ionia Terra. Oh yes, check those out. Didn't want to make this video too long, guys and girls. I hope you liked it. Do give it a huge thumbs up if you did. And then also, if you'd like to, please share it with your friends and colleagues, your like-minded friends or colleagues, let me put it that way. Now, the shadow banning on YouTube is quite bad. I've only got just over 2,100 subscribers now. So to those of you that just joined recently, welcome on board. I hope you like the research and work. Guys and girls, do take care. I'll see you in the next one. I'll do part 2, maybe a part 3. Bye-bye for now.